Let
It
me
was a
boot it
real
up.
Miss Lisa. What up, football freaks? Kenny E and Chattanooga Ed here for another Friday Night Lights, talking some football smack. We finally got it down correctly. We got all of our ASC stuff up instead of my Danikin stuff, which is good. We're seeing Nico ask to start the night, so we know we're on a stream with Ed. Anyway, we see a question already off the bat. It says, I'll be back. But the first question of the evening is, so what does Ed think the Chiefs will do without home playoff game?
We're generally a better team on the road. If
I
you
was
look
just
at
going
the
to say they are. They're
statistics,
one of the weird, they play better on the road than they do at home.
yeah, we let down at home a lot more. But I don't think it's going to make any difference as long as we have our top three wide receivers all suck.
Well, the thing you got that's encouraging, though, you do have Rice. I think Rice is going to be a stud. I think they should give that kid more time. And you've got
Yep.
Kelsey. All you need is another number one type of guy in either draft or free agency next offseason, and you guys will be fine. Your defense is way improved from the year previous. I mean, they're looking
It
good.
won't be this good next year.
You don't think they will be?
It won't be. We're gonna probably either be missing Jones, or Chris Jones will either be gone, or it'll be our corner Smead will be gone because they can't keep both. And I would rather keep Snead and re-sign Tranquil and have more and money left over to add to the wide receiver problem.
And then I see
But our
Mr.
wide
Whitten
receivers are
here.
so bad, they're actually like a negative to our team. Sure, it's like they actually give up turnovers.
I was
They
going to say,
actually,
dude, I wish I could disagree with you, but I can't. I mean, they're. But I
I've
want
never,
to again with saying that Rice, he has no reason to be ashamed. Rice has played a great rookie season. It's
yeah,
just
he's just a
unfortunately
rookie. So
the receivers in whole get this stigma put on them because of Valdez Scantlet and that
I
other what's the
want
other
to keep
clown's name?
Scantley. I want to keep Scantley. I mean, that offsides, he actually asked the referee if he was on sides, and the referees normally go no. But the referee just looked at him, so he just assumed he was okay. I mean, and you literally, I saw the replay. He actually looked at the referee and went like, "Am I good?" And then he went and got ready because the referee just stared at him. And they made it a rule this year that referees don't have to warn the player because always in the past, wide receivers have always asked and they got their free warning. Yes, they're offsides or not. But they did make it a rule that the refs can be a dick if they want to be, which I think is just stupid. It's like they're trying to do as many things as they can to make the game crappy.
There you go, Travis. Skull, baby. You can tell I haven't had much practice with that horn this year, Ed. I mean, it's been a pretty brutal year for the Vikings, too. Barely beat. I mean, that was pathetic on our last game against the Raiders. Pathetic. The good news is that team put up 63 against the Chargers, and we shut them completely out. So it does give good talk to our defense.
I wanted to point that out to you
Jefferson,
that, I
Jefferson
mean,
will be playing tomorrow night, Jimmy. Jefferson's playing.
this is pretty funny. How do I share? Percent? Here we go. Let's see if I can make this any bigger, but
I can. We got to get you back. I got to get you
I
figured
don't
out.
know if you can read that, but these are the drives of the game: punt, 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 missed field goal, punt, punt,
Oh, dude, it was
into half,
pathetic.
punt.
Pathetic.
But your defense was great.
Yeah, our defense did good, but and I do feel bad. I don't know if he just like shit down his leg or what, but I do not know how a guy can go from the Dobbs that was beating the hell out of San Francisco to this Dobbs. I mean, the guy completely crapped down his leg. I took him out of both of my leagues. I couldn't even stand it anymore. I mean, not to mention, I don't think he'll start another game for the Vikings. I think he's done.
Well, no, well, this must be why he's not. Nobody
But there's
wants
no
him
rhyme or
because
reason
he
for it,
must
dude.
have
I mean,
complete brain farts.
he just all of a sudden it's like he got his bell ring in that Denver game, and I think it just ever since then he's just been on freak mode. I mean, I don't remember who got him, but they nailed him real good. I mean, rang his clock pretty well, and he hasn't been able to get together. It looks like we're running with Nick Mullins the rest of the year, and we still got the Hall kid that's the rookie that really wasn't even hardly given an opportunity. I mean, he got one game in, and then they brought in Dobbs, so he never really got an opportunity. So I think if we feed the ball heavily to Addison and Jefferson, and then we got the for sure thing up the middle with Hutchinson, we got a shot. Our run game sucks, but there you go, Ed. Oh, Ed, you're muted, buddy. Ed, you're muted.
I muted myself to blow my nose. I was saying I played Justin Herbert in 2 of my 5 teams because I
Yeah,
forgot he was playing Thursday night.
and you could tell San Diego had no clue where they were going after him. I mean, they barely. I mean, I think San Diego had the right that coach. I just don't think he had that team. That team did not play for him. They did not respect him. I feel bad for the guy. I think honestly, if you sign a contract, whether it be the coach or the team, I feel you are obligated to that guy till the contract's over. Period. But I don't think I think he only had a year left anyway. I don't think he was going to get that team turned around. And now did you hear this little rumor in the sky that perhaps Harbaugh's talking about making another run to the NFL, and they're talking Chicago?
Wait, say that again?
Jim Harbaugh is talking about going to Chicago after he's done with Michigan this year.
Wow. Well,
he was their quarterback for how many years was he their quarterback? Was it like 5 or 6?
Yeah, and he did a really good job for San Francisco.
Yeah,
but,
I think
they did him really dirty this year in college football.
Yeah, they did. I think he's had it with the college game.
One of his coaches cheated and he fired the coach, but they said that he was the one doing it. And that's not cool.
Jimmy,
they shouldn't have just suspended him.
If I wanted to sit and go through everything, I bet you I could get you the answer by the end of the night. But just off the top of my head, let's see. Starters went down. There was about 10 of them. So Vikings, I know themselves have started 4 different quarterbacks this year, just on the Vikings. I know the Jets have started 3. So there's 7 right off the bat. San Francisco has started 2. The Oakland Raiders have started 3. New Orleans has started 2. The Chiefs have started 1. Cincinnati has started 2. New England has started 2. Chicago has started 2. Green Bay has started 2. Detroit has only had 1. So, I mean, what do you think, Ed? Probably, let's say, I want to say there's probably 47 or so.
That's man,
He says
unbelievable. I was trying to find it.
54 different QBs. So he's saying that 20 backups, or hold on, yeah, there's 32 teams. So he's saying 22 backups got the shot this year. But keep it in mind, Vikings have started 4 this year. So now you're down to 50.
Trying to see if I can find it for us.
Well, I know Seattle has started Luck and Geno. Let's see who else is out west there. Then one of which, now are you counting? Because Dobbs actually started for Arizona this year and Minnesota. Does that count as 1 or 2, Jimmy?
Jimmy ought to just come on up here and tell us to our faces.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll post a link for anybody that wants to come up. It's not just Jimmy. Anybody wants to come up. I mean to do that at the beginning of the night, but I always forget.
I'm trying to find it because I know they've talked about it quite a few times.
Well, they say it's like the worst year ever.
Yeah. And they've done more this year than they've ever done to protect them. Let's see. What's this say? NFL quarterback injuries, and look at all 16 starters who've been replaced or injured. And so, like, Aaron Rodgers is going to miss at least 16 games. Anthony Richards is going to miss at least 13 games.
But I think, honestly, the way the year has turned out, I think this might turn out to be the best playoffs ever. Because every team is so evenly matched this year. I mean, there is no guaranteed win for any team anymore, it seems like. I mean,
I agree.
I think what happened to the Chiefs is, 1, your receivers stunk, and 2, I believe Buffalo wanted that game more. They had to have.
We've lost 3 of our last 4. We've just been horrific.
I just think Buffalo, they had to have it. They weren't going to take any less. So, wow, the record is 68.
Well, I don't know. This doesn't really tell us well.
I mean,
this is just current injuries.
Green Bay lost their last game, but I still think Green Bay is playing pretty unpredictable, where you better look out ball. If you beat them on the wrong night, you could get your ass smoked. I think my Vikings, I don't know, man. If the quarterback was more solidified, I'd give us a real good shot with Jefferson being back. Our defense is vicious now. I mean, I'd give us a pretty good shot. And then San Francisco, I believe, is a machine. I don't think anybody can stop them right now. Dallas is looking good. I don't know, man. The AFC side, yeah, Baltimore's looking good, but I mean, they have nights where you're like, holy Christ. I mean, if they did this in the playoffs, I don't know if Baltimore could make it through the entire 4 games needed to get to the Super Bowl. I think on the AFC, it's probably going to be your Chiefs or I don't know, man. I don't know. Buffalo's starting to play
Miami
good again.
Still hasn't beat a team over 500.
Yeah. Miami, you mean?
Yeah, Miami hasn't beat any.
I don't think Miami's got it to go all the way. This might be the year of the Cinderella team, boys.
It's going to be really interesting to see how does Miami play the Cowboys this week?
I think so.
This could be Miami's
No, it's
first
not.
chance to
It's
beat a
not.
good team.
Who was? Is it Miami and Dallas? Well, I know tomorrow it's Vikings at Cincinnati, and then we got
When
who
you say
was it?
tomorrow, do you mean Saturday or Sunday?
Denver at Dallas. Yeah, tomorrow. There's 3 NFL games tomorrow.
Oh my God. I got to check my lineups.
Who is the
Did
middle
you
game? I'm missing the middle game, guys. I'm trying to remember now. I know it's Vikings at
did you want me to
Cincinnati
is it
and
okay if I delete this now?
yeah.
I brought up all the injured starting quarterbacks.
Was it not letting you delete it?
No, I was just wondering if you want me to drop it, if it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Or if you want to put something else up, just leave it up so you can pop it up anytime.
Oh, good point. Yeah, well, this I just brought up for you for the injuries. This is a new page.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I never brought it up. I never brought it up. There we go. There we go, Ed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of past it, but yeah, I mean, and Aaron Rodgers might come back. They got him saying 16, maybe more. So he might come back for the 17th game. Anthony Richard is out for 13 plus games. And he was a surprisingly good quarterback. Deshaun Watson, man. He's
getting paid
nobody
big
even
bucks.
knows if he's even hurt.
And you know what? That guy's going to screw around, and he might just lose his starting job. Joe Flacco's playing unbelievable knockout.
I think he wants to lose it.
They put him on the practice squad again.
You know, Deshaun Watson, he gets paid if he's there or not. He can be suspended and he still gets paid.
But they can always not pay him and dead money his ass, and then he's out of the league, and that's the last we ever see of him, you know? Kirk Cousins going to play.
I don't know if they can do that.
Kirk Cousins will be. There's going to be another team like the Vikings were that think they're ready for the Super Bowl, just need to add the quarterback. Somebody's going to pay Cousins stupid money again, guaranteed. Not sure who it will be yet, but somebody will pay him. And hopefully it ain't my Vikings, but
I think Daniel Jones going down for the Giants is the best thing that could happen to the Giants.
I like this little Italian kid, man. DeVito.
Yeah, and Daniel sucks. Daniel Jones. So if they could actually have a reason to have to draft a new quarterback or find one in a backup, I think it's only good because I don't think they're ever going to win with Daniel Jones. Kirk Cousins, is he actually a free agent next year?
Yep.
Okay. Kyle Murphy, is he a free agent next year?
I don't think so. He's locked in for a bit.
Okay.
Now, this guy is another guy that I think he better hope he gets healthy pretty quick because I think Browning may steal that job from him. Browning's playing unbelievably good ball.
From Kyler Murphy or Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
Who's Browning play for?
Cincinnati.
I don't know. I bet you they'd go back to Joe Burrow regardless. But you're right. That backup,
so I'll guarantee you one
Browning
thing. If they do that, they got somebody for trade bait in the draft because I think a team would pay that kid right down, take a shot with him.
Yeah. Or somebody might be smart that has a bad quarterback to just have a great backup like him to actually start eventually.
Justin Fields
Why
is
should
another
say Justin
one.
Fields Cardinals?
I think what? Justin Fields Cardinals.
They must have messed up and actually meant Bears, but wrote Cardinals.
Yeah, that's the Bears.
Maybe it's a really old reporter who always forgets that the Cardinals aren't in Chicago anymore.
Ryan Tannehill. A lot of these guys I think we've seen play for the last time.
Tannehill's been benched. He's done.
Tannehill's
He's
done. I
our
think Garoppolo's played his last game in the NFL. Pickett's got a shot. He'll be good. Bryce Young's another one. He just needs time. Stafford's getting up there in age, but he's probably got another year left in him. Geno Smith, I think, plays for the Seahawks till he retires. Justin Herbert, we know he'll always be the Chargers quarterback. And that one on the bottom now, that guy impressed me this year. I think Shroud had a hell of a rookie season. It's unfortunate he got hurt. He was playing lights out ball. I like that kid.
And he still may not miss a game. It's just concussion with him. He's in concussion protocol.
Yeah, and there's nothing he can do about it. I mean, he got his bell ring, and he'll be back in 2 weeks. He should be back. He won't be here, probably won't be playing this game, but next week he'll play. Man, that was some gangly looking feet at the top end. I hope those aren't attached to a lady, because them were some ganglers, man. Look at them feet.
It's some new device. I don't know what that is. These are all medical problems for people. They probably say people that like football probably need medical attention. And I probably should be investing in it. Let me see if I've got this play from the quarterback, the new quarterback for Tennessee, the Titans. What's his name? Val?
Levi.
Dude, this dude's crazy good. Or fun. I don't know if he's good.
You know, every time you say that, you're like taking a knife and driving it in my heart. That is the one guy, if you recall, I was pissed as hell that my Vikings didn't draft. If we could have had that guy.
Nuts. I don't have it. I thought I saved it to show on here, but the clip, he throws an interception, and then he knew he had thrown an interception right off the bat, so he charges the guy who catches the interception and hits him. He fumbles the ball, and the quarterback picks it up for the first down. Did you see that this week?
The guy's a mean sucker.
It's awesome. He throws it, and he just starts, like, sprinting through where everybody's blocking, because, quarterbacks never sprint forward. He hits the guy who catches the ball and made him forced a fumble and recovered it for the first down. Dude's awesome. It was a terrible throw, but it was still an awesome play. It was a great play.
This has got to be a first. We invite Jimmy up on a stream, and he turned us down.
Well, maybe he's just not feeling good tonight.
That must be
Let me go back and see if I can see if Jimmy's saying anything.
We got a skull. So another skull.
Let's do. Boy, we got lots of.
I got to get this right. There we go. Good enough.
Who do you think your quarterback's going to be next year?
I think we're either going to draft another quarterback or we'll try to go and find something. There's not a lot available in free agency right now. So I think my hope would be, and I don't think it will happen, if Bo Nix was to drop to the Vikings, I'd be ecstatic.
Well, where are the Vikings drafting, do you think?
Well, right now, I mean, we're in a 6th seed of the playoffs. So, I mean, we're probably looking at what, a 20th at best? Best case, 20th, 22, somewhere in there.
So you're going to have to give up this year's first-round draft pick and probably 1 or 2 extras to go down that low. Where do you think Hicks will be drafted?
Honestly, I think he's going to go in the top 10.
Because, like, the Chiefs were, I think they were, like, 27th the year that they got Patrick Mahomes. And they traded that pick and the following first-round pick. They pick up the 10th pick to get Patrick in the 10th overall pick. And that was the best trade the Chiefs have ever made, But, I mean, if you're lucky and you hit gold, it does,
And I'm
It's
not
all
sure
about the
that we've
quarterback.
given up on this Hall kid. Like I said, he didn't really even get an opportunity. So I'm not so sure we're done with him yet. But he was a 5th-round draft pick, so I'm not weighing too much on that kid, you know.
I'd like to know who the top 10 college quarterbacks are.
We'll bring it up.
I'm going to try. I just dropped my window for
I know the
looking
kid out of
information.
SC is one of the ones that everybody's hot on right now. The kid out of Georgia is probably another.
Okay. Oh, darn it. I hate it when I accidentally hit a letter instead of the space bar. Okay. Enter. No, I'm like, there's a guy named Taylor Swift. That's the top 10 trending players or things in football going on. Uh, quarterback ratings going into the 2023 draft.
Tommy
Don't
fucking
want that.
Craver. Now, Xanadudu, when I think
Well,
great Vikings quarterbacks, I think Culpepper and Cunningham are the two of my favorite. Culpepper was
I love
light.
Culpepper. Well, Cunningham's my favorite player, one of my favorite players of all time.
Cunningham was, I mean, when he was with us, he was, I mean, we went 15-1 and should have won the Super Bowl that year. Oh, we got somebody coming up here. Oh, that's you. Flash sale.
Let's see.
There you go. 20% off. Let me get this full screen. Oh, it was full screen. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to make it a little smaller. So they got Bo Nix 5th overall quarterback. I think I would take Bo Nix before any of these other guys. I've watched a lot of Bo Nix this year, and he's been a stud.
The only thing that turns people off by him, they don't think he has an NFL strong enough arm for the deep ball. But you know what? Anymore, how many teams are really throwing the deep ball? I mean, yeah, a couple here and there, but to the most part, it's all.
Well, boy,
Caleb
I've seen
Williams,
this Washington kid play. You know, I've seen him play a couple times, I think, against Bo. Twice against Bo.
Jaden Daniels.
I've seen this guy play. This Quinn Ewer. Boy, I don't know. Bo is my pick. I think I would take Bo in the first round. I mean, they're saying this Caleb Williams.
Go to running backs. I'd be interested to see what running backs we got coming up this year. I know the Vikings need a running back fiercely too. Although, you know what? Cook might actually be humble enough now. He'll come crawling back to the Vikings now. And he was good in our system.
Here's running backs. Longhorns got the number 1 running back. Lots of ads for me to close on this thing. The Seminoles have got a good running back. I'm surprised. Oh, look, Oregon's guy. Nobody from Alabama or Georgia.
What about receivers?
Oh, this Edwards guy is awesome. I've watched a couple of Mizzou games, and he is a machine. He's a smaller running back, but he is awesome. He is like power and speed. He's like he looks like uh Zach or not Zach. Well, Zeke. He kind of looks like Zeke Elliott or Emmett Smith. You know, the short, stocky guy.
What up, Mexicali? What's up, Jorge? He's another
Jorge.
Raiders fan. Jorge's a
Yep.
Raiders fan. Did you know that, Ed?
Yep. And congratulations on the huge win. You guys destroyed
Well, I mean, the coach
San
set the tone
Diego.
that night. Did you see the way he walked in the stadium?
No, I
He
was
was
doing
dressed
my
all in
stream.
black with, I mean, a gold chain that was probably 28 pounds, some sunglasses. I mean, he just came in. He had his black hat on. I mean, he looked like he was ready to fight.
I think it's what how do you feel about this whole new BS stuff about the Chiefs? They're Chiefs fans aren't allowed to have headdresses or any paint on their faces.
What?
That came from New York, not the Chiefs. Because of that dirtbag guy that said that kid was being racist for having blackface, but he had half his face was black and half was red. And he was saying that kid was being racist to white or to Indians or Native Americans and black people. And it turns out the kid's an Indian, a real live Native American Indian. Now the kid's suing him. The guy's name is his last name's his name was Male, like a guy, Male Karen. That's actually his name, Male Karen. And the kid's suing him for putting his name all over the place, saying he was a racist scum. And so the kid's probably going to get money and win on it, but the Chiefs fans are the ones that are losing because we aren't allowed to paint our faces anymore. Oh, I'm all by
Oh.
myself. No, I'm not. I thought I was all by myself. But
No, you're here. I'm here.
let's go to what I need is a wide receiver. Let's see if there's a wide receiver 16th spot.
Is Harrison
Ooh, this
Jr.?
guy's going to be
Is
good.
that Marvin's kid? I think it might be.
Yeah, Marvin's kid is ranked #1 with a
Oh,
94
dude, that's
rating.
the first. Look at his score. He's a 94. Yeah,
Man,
that's the kid to get, man. But I bet you he goes in the top 10.
he'll probably go in the top 5. Oh, oh, look, it says where they think they'll be drafted. They think he'll be drafted at 1.6. So he's going to be drafted 1 or 2. This guy is at
13.
13.1. So on mock drafts, his average spot is in the 13th spot. So now let's go back to the quarterbacks. Now that we know how this rating or how the pros are picking them, let's go back to
Yeah, but I
quarterbacks
mean,
and
90,
see where Bo.
94. That's high. That's really high.
Yeah, well, it's higher than this guy. This guy, Williams here, is at 1.5. So it's probably between those two who they're drafting.
Go down a
Half
hit.
of the time they're picking
Oh,
him, half
dude,
the
we
time they're
got a
picking
shot
the
at
other
getting
guy.
him then. Look at that. They're predicting
Look,
him to go in the.
Bo
Wow.
Nix's average draft spot is 33.9. The beginning of the
Wow.
second round.
My Vikes might have a shot, but will we take it? No.
I think I'd trade up, especially if some of these other guys get knocked off the board. I'd trade up for him. Wow. This kid from Mizzou, they're saying is He drafted 14th overall. He's pretty good. I've watched him. I've watched a lot of this Carson Beck for Georgia, and I don't know. He looks like a high school player. He doesn't look like a superstar to me. Like he's not bad, but he just like throws like 20 yards and 30-yard little bumps and stuff that he doesn't ever go. I don't know. I just haven't seen him like do amazing stuff. But man,
Ed, I hope you go after Harrison, dude. But I just don't think you guys are going to give up that kind of capital to move that far up in the draft.
I don't think anybody will trade with us that high. I don't think there's a chance that the Chiefs could get him.
Well, the
Let's
thing
go
that's
back
sick
to
is the Chicago Bears hold right now. They get the number 1 and the number 4 or 5 pick in this year's draft again. So they could probably sell that first pick, cash in a ton of capital for that, and they still got a fourth number 4 or 5 spot, and they'll probably end up with another one in the first round and build draft for next year again. Or they might say, screw it and take that number 1 pick and get another quarterback. Although this Harrison kid might be worth keeping your pick for. So you got a suitor that would be willing to trade with the Chiefs. Does the Chiefs want to give up the capital to get that spot?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think our Veach.
Plus, you got to pay the number 1 a ton of money.
Yeah, I don't think he'll put out the money for it. Now there's a 6'7" wide receiver that a lot of people have been talking about. I think he's supposed to go in the 3rd round. See if I can find him. The Chiefs have been talking about trying to draft him in the 3rd because they thought it'd be awesome to have this guy line up on one end and Kelsey on the other end. Oh, man. Well, maybe he's not even in the top 50. Oh, he's not in the top 60. He's a 6'6" kid from Iowa State, but I don't think that's him. I think they said he was 6'7". I was listening to them all talking yesterday. All right, well, I can't find him. I don't know where. Maybe it was the guy from Iowa State.
Johnny Wilson. Is his name Johnny Wilson from Arizona State? 6'7", 235 pounds.
The only guy I can find that's 6 foot or taller, 6'6", is this Sean John Jr.
What about there's a guy named Johnny Wilson?
The problem is this is by their scouting ratings. So it's hard to find it. I guess I'll go all the way to 1.
Jack.
And look for Arizona State.
Ed,
yes?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Johnny Wilson. Can you look up a Johnny Wilson? It says the kid's out of Arizona State. He's 6'7", 235 pounds. He ran a 40 in 4.59 seconds. Vertical jump was 36.9, and his shuttle was 4.28.
The problem is they aren't by their names; they're by their ratings.
Well, that sucks. Is there a way to look them up?
I can't just Well, we'll lose this page. I can't believe that he wouldn't be on here. Oh, wait, here's Arizona. No, he's only 5'11. That's messed up that they don't have him rated in the top 80 wide receivers.
Yeah, it says he's now playing for the
Wait.
Florida State Seminoles. The kid plays
Oh,
for
he's playing
Florida
for Florida
State
State?
now. He plays for Florida State now, yeah.
Oh, crap. I've been looking for Arizona symbols. Well, nuts. Oh, well, I don't know. Just because the fans want him doesn't mean we're going to get him. You know, it'd just be fun
Well,
to
they're
get
saying this
somebody
kid's
good
a
for a
contender for
change.
the top 10. Top 10
Oh,
receiver spot in the 24 draft. So he's in the top 10. I'd look on the first page. Johnny Wilson's his name.
oh, there he is. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he is. Right there. That's who the Chiefs were hoping to get, the Chiefs fans.
He's
And
pretty
his
quick
average
for a
pick,
big dude.
yeah, and his average pick is 54. So we might be able to draft him for sure, probably in the first round. He'll probably still be there. I mean, you're losing a
But I
lot if
mean,
you're.
6'7" and a 4.42. I mean, come on. That's a
I
big dude,
know.
235 pounds. That's a big, lanky dude.
I know. And what if he turns out to be like the next
Megatron.
Megatron? And they were
Another
saying he
big
can jump so high, Patrick Mahomes could literally just throw balls through the goalpost in the red zone things, and he can jump above the goalpost and catch it. So for lobs, the kid would be amazing.
red zone, he'd be deadly.
Yeah, that's who everybody wants in Kansas City. And it's probably they're looking at his draft area thinking, well, this is a guy that'll probably fall, somewhere in the late 20s, wherever we'll fall at. Because I bet you the Chiefs will be
The thing is
like,
hurting this class of kids is there was a lot of good receivers that came out last year. So how many teams are really going to be in the market for a good receiver this year,
Yeah.
Well, the
Who
Vikings
knows?
ain't going for him.
Maybe the Chiefs will get two of these guys. Because, in the top 10 here, there's
Man,
a guy that
if
they say will
Chicago
go all
wasn't
the
in
way.
such a need to get their defense back, I mean, this could be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of year for them. I mean, they could probably snatch this Harrison Jr., the first pick, and pick up a quality quarterback with their next pick if they want to move on from Justin Fields. Or they keep Fields, pick up Harrison. Now they got more in Harrison for receivers, and then use the entire rest of the draft for defense.
Yeah. And they might be able to trade that other that good their backup or their secondary wide receiver.
More.
Well, who are their top two receivers right now?
You got Moore, Moody.
Moody.
There was one. There's
Maybe
one
they
other
could trade
kid.
Moody for like a third or a fourth round draft pick.
Yeah, I would go. I would love to have that Harrison kid, dude. I just got a funny feeling he's going to be something.
Oh, I know. His dad is so studly.
I didn't realize he was. Is he coming out early? I didn't think he was that old yet. He must be coming out like as a sophomore or something or a junior.
They
Can't
say
believe
he's
he's
the
been.
best player in all of college football. Let's see if I can
Yeah.
click on him and get more stats out of him.
Well, for
He's
what I've been
a
told, he's just
junior.
like his dad, man. He's super low key. He's not, he's not all about himself. He's just an all around good teammate too.
I mean, look at that. He had 67 receptions for 1,200 yards, and that's like in 11 games,
And 14
and
TDs.
14 touchdowns, averaged 18.1 yards per catch. And his dad was awesome. Here's a picture of him diving for the pylon. See? Where's 81? So it'll get confusing. I really hate that wide receivers aren't in the 90s and the 80s anymore. It makes it so confusing when you see a number one running around in the backfield that's not a quarterback, or a number 2 and 8 and stuff like that. But yeah, this dude is like awesome. Look, these are also his intangibles. Like if we were playing Madden, he has 83 hands, reception in all this. All these hundreds. He's like a huge deep threat. He's even okay at blocking.
Wow.
Yep. I wish we could have him.
Well, I'm just anxious to
Let's see
see if the
those.
Bears keep that spot or if they cash in again. I mean, we're sure worked out for them good last year. They got this year's number 1, and they got more for giving up the first round last year.
Look at this guy. Oh yeah, they were talking about his tracking. This giant tall guy is super good at watching the ball. There were times where he would stop and everybody else would like, why'd he just stop? And it's because he knew his quarterback had underthrown it and stuff. He was like great at watching the ball in the air. I wish they gave his stats. They didn't give all. Oh, here it is. The tall guy had 41 catches in 11 games, 617 yards, and only 2 touchdowns.
But Florida
Seminoles
State, they're
didn't really
more
play
known
him
for,
right,
aren't
did
they
they?
more known for running the ball?
I don't know. I haven't watched hardly any Seminoles this year.
Yeah, that Florida State, if I remember right, runs the ball a lot.
So, who does Jimmy want to draft for his team? What
What
does
is
the
Jimmy, the
Rams think? The
Niners?
Rams could use a new quarterback to start.
Oh, he's a Rams fan?
Oh man, Jimmy loves the Rams.
I didn't know that. I always thought he was a 49ers fan.
See, who does Jorge want? Jorge, okay, let's see. What would be good with the Raiders? The
Raiders need a
Raiders have a pretty
quarterback.
good team. A new
Although
quarterback.
that McDonald kid, I don't know, man. He might turn out to be a good quarterback. I mean, he lit it up the other night. 4 touchdowns, 350 plus yards.
I mean, what do they have any? I'm trying to think. They got to have a weakness because they don't win every game. Maybe defensive back?
Their defense isn't that bad, but yeah, they could. You always can beef up the defense. I think their O-line needs some love. I mean, they got one of the best running backs in the league. They got one of the best receivers in the league. one of the best tight ends in the league. So all they really need is a quarterback to throw it to all these guys.
Well, wait a minute. Who's their tight end now? Because the
Oh,
Walrus
that's
went
right.
to New York.
That's right.
And I was just blown away when they did that. See what the top offensive lineman is.
You got a couple of
Wow, they aren't
almost 90s.
projecting offensive linemen to draft super high in this draft. Boy, offensive linemen have really bad ratings up here.
Well, 92 is pretty good, Ed.
Yeah, but that's your top guy. And then I guess
Upper 80s is good at the college level.
I don't know how they rate these guys. I mean, it'd be so hard to rate an offensive lineman.
I guarantee you there's a bunch of scouts right now going through all this stuff, trying to make sure they get the draft room ready. They're working right now. I'd love to have that job. What do you, Ed? Just go around the country watching kids play ball all day long? That's your job?
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be super fun. I'd get so
And I guarantee
fat,
you they
though,
get
because I'd eat
paid
so
decent.
much steak.
You know, they're pulling down probably 6 figures a year doing it. And you get just, I mean, you'd be the perfect guy. You got nothing tying you down at the house. Shit, man. You could love that job.
I got two things that kind of tie me down.
Well, the cats. But you got mom and dad there to watch them. So.
Yeah, I was talking about driving mom and dad to places.
Oh.
But we can figure it out. I was looking at these defensive linemen. Defensive linemen are such a crapshoot, too. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He says, I hate the Rams. Niners since they moved away to St. Louis.
I know. I was teasing him. We talked about that at the beginning of the year. I was checking to see if he was still there, though. Mexicali said, if you have a sombrero and a fake mustache, go ahead. We do it all the time. My dad has a sombrero, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. For like wearing for special events. I think he got it at a garage sale or at a flea market. It's like one of those real fancy ones. It's black and gold. And when my dad wears it, it's not making fun of Mexicans at all. I wish that people would kind of chill out on the culture stuff. I guess I don't have much for my culture. Maybe I could get mad at people for dressing up like Dracula.
Well, I mean, my culture wasn't really known for being good guys.
Yeah, but people are allowed to dress up like Vikings. Well,
so you
I'm
see
part
that
Potawatomi.
now you can actually triple stream if you wanted to. You can now include your Instagram in on your streaming. So you can do Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same time.
I wish I was more Mexican, though. I absolutely love Mexican food too. I was eating a well, I can't even say it. A tortilla before we started.
Yes, you were. You were scarfing that sucker down.
Yeah, just a raw, well, not a raw, but just a dough one. I had made tacos earlier this week, and I bought way too many of those. But man, I guess a lot of people are dressing up like Vikings lately. You see those Viking shorts ever?
Oh yeah.
I've thought about making one. You know how they put all that makeup on? I thought about doing it like in front of a campfire and taking some water and throwing it in the ash and just rubbing it on my face. Because it's probably more like what they did before they went to war.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of. I haven't went through and debugged this little laptop, so I always get all these little gangster people trying to download stuff just automatically on my. So I have to stop it before it gets going.
Oh, that's weird. Well, it's definitely going to be a fun year. I can't wait for the draft. You know, that's the worst thing about my show being on Thursday nights because it's like I missed the first round of the draft. I wish the
Just have it
NFL would
played
get
on the
off the.
TV by you.
Yeah, but I like to sit there on the couch and eat wings and cheer. Maybe we'll do a special show on here and I'll do my show on Saturday or something. Because now Rico Skipper and I were rotating that Saturday spot from 8 to 10. And I might have it this week, I think. But maybe I could push my craft ed to the Saturday for the week of the draft and then just either sit here and analyze everything with you for the whole draft or just sit there with my dad and have fun and eat wings and pizza.
Well, you can eat wings and pizza on a stream if you wanted to. Nobody's going to say a word.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun having your dad on the analyzing panel with us.
Oh, crap. Hey, am I still here?
Yep, you're still here.
I was let's see, I'm gonna my computer was at 2% battery and I realized I had my computer plugged into this thing and it's not plugged into anything. It's just an old one that was on the floor from Christmas.
Yeah, we can end it earlier than what we did last week. I mean, an hour's fine. That way you don't zap out.
Oh, well, I plugged it in, but everything's darker now. It's in saving mode. But it says that it's charging.
You think you are streaming tomorrow then?
Yes. I'm either gonna be doing a goofy cooking thing with Rico, or we'll do a Rico show tomorrow from 8 to 10, just like where we geek out and talk about movies or something.
Nice.
It kind of depends. I haven't taken my COVID test yet. What's that?
Do you still do Pam stream too?
Yeah, and I've got a couple things to paint on there. I made 4 little things for people that were watching on her show that I'm going to mail out. One's to Patty. I made her a manatees, Trash Cat, Boots Cats, and Craig's Catfish cape. I made them all like little things for them. Craig, I told him he's going to have to wait till after Christmas before I mail it to Australia.
I don't know if you heard the question earlier. Ed was wondering who you're hoping your Raiders will take in the first round this year.
Yeah.
And then Whip, if you're still here, tell us what you think the Steelers should take. And Jimmy, you must well throw down who you want. I already know what we want. We want a quarterback. And my eye this year would be on Bo Nix. I called for my Vikings to take Levis last year, and I do believe he would have been awesome for us.
If I was Pittsburgh, I would take the best offensive lineman I could. I still think their offensive line is weak.
Oh, man. The Steelers, can you imagine if they got Harrison? Woo!
Yeah.
They already got Pickens down there to go along with Pickett.
Yeah. And then if I was the 49ers, I would just go for the best possible players. Because you've got such a well-rounded team. I don't know if they have any weaknesses. I would just go for, we'll see who goes. Maybe free agency might have a casualty that we don't know about because we don't know I don't know the team well enough to know who's a free agent at the end of the year. But if they have this team going into the draft, I would just take the best overall player. As long as it wasn't like a running back, because they already got two pretty good running backs, and they got a good tight end, and they got two good wide receivers that are young. They got a young quarterback. They are just set. I don't know, Jimmy, what's your offensive line looking like? I think you can't ever go wrong with picking an offensive lineman. They're the quiet backbone of your team. That was one thing that's been good about these losses that the Chiefs have had. We've been starting our rookie third round defense or offensive tackle at left tackle, and he's been great. He didn't give up a sack to Buffalo. So that's a really good sign. Wait, you want to see something cool I got? Check out this cool hat.
Nice.
A guy in my fish club made this. That's a leather patch that he pressed and painted himself.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah, it's the East Tennessee Aquatic Association, I think, or Aquarium Association. But it's really a cool hat. He hammered it. He's a leather worker, and I traded him one of my T-shirts for this hat. But it doesn't have holes, and I wore it one day in the summer, and my head was melting. My brain was boiling.
What's up there, Mel? Good to see you, buddy.
Hiya, Melvin. Jimmy says defensive player. And a low-round quarterback.
They ain't going after no quarterback, Jimmy. You don't need it. Oh, man, I would love for them to trade Purdy right about now. That would be awesome.
Well, I think he's probably just saying he wants a better backup. Which makes sense how these quarterbacks are getting hurt now. Man.
Yeah, hopefully we go after Bo Nix. Well, next to Kylie says Raiders just need a new owner. He ain't wrong. He's not wrong. Offensive lineman, he says.
See, good offensive linemen just don't last long enough. I don't know if they just get beat up or what, but it's hard to get a good one. And if you don't have a good one, man, you're in trouble. I think, who are your teams for next year do you think is going to be the top teams? I'm thinking Houston might be awesome.
Houston's got a shot. I still think Detroit's going to be good. I still think Dallas is going to be good. I still think Philly will most likely still be good. 49ers will still be good. My Vikings, if we get a quarterback, could be awesome. I think the Packers are going to only grow, and I do believe the Bears could get better. I mean, it's hard to say, man. The teams, I mean, look at the records this year. It shows you how level the field has became this year. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's just walking away with the either side. I mean, it's a lot of 10-3 action. You know, it's the best in the league right now.
You're so right.
These are the years that break Vegas.
Let's see if I can go to the standings here. Let's see if I can make this a little smaller. And I don't want this cookie thing. I'll accept their cookies. Okay, and then let me percent share window bam. Did you get that? That's the standings.
Oh,
if we want to look at the standings, there we go. Okay, in the AFC East, I think Miami is only going to get better, and the Jets have to get better.
well, Jets will have Rodgers back next year, and my honest opinion, I believe the Jets will have Adams next year too.
Oh wow!
They'll have two Adams there.
Well, so are we going to pick the Jets for next year?
I think the Jets will get better if they get Rodgers for the year. Absolutely.
Miami's going to be, they got to play a lot better teams next year because they now have a winning record, and they're going to play
Well,
a
the
lot of
Bills, I
good
believe,
teams.
will
And
be
this
there
year they
too
played
next
so
year.
many.
Bills ain't going nowhere. They had a rough year
Yeah,
this
I
year,
know.
but I think they'll be there next year.
I think they'll be better next year too.
I think
Good
there's
division.
a team that nobody talks about right there, the Cleveland Browns. Especially
I
if
think
they're
they're going to be
smart
worse.
and they sign Joe Flacco to like a 3-year deal. I think they have a shot at being good for the next 2 to 3 years, man.
Well, yeah, if they do that, that'll be interesting.
I mean, they're the most untalked about team in the league right now. Just look at their defensive line, for God's sakes. They have Myles Garrett and Smith at the other end.
Yeah, but the thing to think about is they're not going to get a first round draft pick for a couple of years now. And it's age is going to start catching up on them when they aren't
Yeah, I
replacing any
agree,
new
but
players.
they're not detrimental by any means. They've got Nick Chubbs. Everybody forgot he went down in second game of the year. He'll be back healthy next year. They got a defense that's just vicious. Get a decent receiver in the draft and secure that quarterback spot. They have a shot.
Do they have a second round draft pick this year, or do they just have a third round?
I don't know. I don't know if they gave up 1s and 2s or not. They gave up the farm for this guy.
They gave up, I think, 5 draft picks. I think they gave up 3 first rounds and 2 seconds.
That's stupid. I don't see it.
And that guy's salary is going to hurt them for the next 4 years still to come. Crazy. The Colts are going to be fun to watch with their new quarterback. But I really think that the Titans are going to be not the Titans, but the Texans are going to be the best team in this division next year. With all the play, because they're getting all 5 of those young players, plus their players that they've already got. I mean, they got that Nico wide receiver, they got that quarterback. I mean, Cleveland has set them up. It's unbelievable. I think my Chiefs will be back on top. I'm sorry, Mexicali, but I think it's a pretty easy fix for the Chiefs. I think our defense will go down a little, but if we just pick up one wide receiver, these games we would probably be 13-2 if we had a good receiver.
The team you guys got to look out this year are the Broncos sneaking up and taking that division on you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the Chiefs just threw it away, or the wide receivers just threw it away, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wilson's
those
playing some
wide receivers
pretty
are
good
costing,
ball right now.
they're costing Patrick Mahomes probably hundreds of millions of dollars because he made $500 million this year from ads. Well, he's not going to be the MVP this year, and his numbers are so bad, he's not going to get all those ads next year. So, Patrick Mahomes.
I think the MVP should go to a running back this year.
I don't even know who the
McCaffrey. I think McCaffrey should get it. I think this year. I mean, that kid is. I mean,
let's look at. This is normally the top way to tell fantasy. I don't want fantasy baseball. I want fantasy. What I do is a great way to look is who's leading all players in fantasy points. Add player. And let's take out wide receivers.
No, leave them all in. Let's see who it is.
Well, quarterbacks have so many more stats or points. Tyreek Hill, 324 points. McCaffrey, 314.
Then who's number 3 there? CC.
That's CeeDee Lamb at 285, and then Keenan Allen at 282. So I think it's got to be between Tyreek Hill or McCaffrey. And now let's look at the quarterbacks. Josh Allen's the top quarterback. He has some great numbers, but they've lost too many games. He's not winning games for them. So I would probably go down to Hurts as the best quarterback. I think you're right. I think it's either Tyreek Hill or
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. And I think it depends on the last 4 games here. Oh, wow. And the Devil Dogs have Tyreek Hill. Nice job. Tyreek Hill is almost 100 points better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excuse me. He's 100 points better than the 6th place player in the league. That's crazy. DJ Moore has had a pretty good year here. DJ Moore has 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's pretty awesome. Oh, I think my phone's ringing in the other room.
It's mine. Some number coming up private. I don't answer those.
You?
That's that's a telemarketer.
I won't answer anything that I don't know the number. I figure they can text me if they're wanting to get a hold of me and put their name on it. I need to someday call Jorge too and talk to him about that convention. Darn it. We were all sick and everything was going on. I just didn't get to it. Turned out my dad had COVID. And that's what I got to do is we've got to take a test. Maybe I'll do it in the morning to see if I've got it because we're all quarantining. And if Dad doesn't have it anymore and Mom and I don't have it now, then I can start doing things again.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yep. I tell you, and then I got that cough from the OCA. That thing was like the worst. That thing is still with me a little bit, but it's lasted
Yeah,
almost
I
4 weeks.
mean, it seems like almost every convention it happens nowadays too. I mean, it's got me where I'm probably going to be going to most. If I go to anything this year, I'll mostly be by myself because with Danny's situation, I don't want to expose her to anything right now. So
Yeah, I totally understand. That's a bummer.
so Mel's asking, how have you heard from James?
I haven't. I texted him a couple weeks ago, and nothing was really going on with him. So don't know what's going on with James. Other than he might come back at the end of or at the sometime next year, he said. So we'll see what happens. But I hit 6,000 yesterday or today. So that felt good. And my shorts are not haven't done anything like they used to do.
It's because there's so many people doing shorts they can't get them all out there like they used to. They've been promoting them so heavily now that, hey, you like my horn?
Is Danny there?
Yeah, she was walking by.
Oh.
I had the horn in a very awkward position, if you know what I mean.
Ah. She must think you're crazy.
She does.
But that's okay.
All right, Ed. Well, I think I'm gonna get off of here and start feeding some fish, man. It's looking like we'll go another 10 minutes, so it's an even hour and a half.
Have you ever had a Oscar jump out of your fish tank?
Yes, but you know what the worst has been? We got these new fish in this tank. Those they're called Zaco platypuses. We had 6 of them, and we've got this tank secure now. But see how spastic they are? He's up at the top.
That is a beautiful tank.
But those guys, we lost 4 of the 6 because they jump. But they're really cool, man. I mean, they really got some neat coloring, but they're super spastic. I think these were native caught fish, is why. I think they're wild caught. I mean, they're super spastic.
Is that
But Danny, I think what we're
plastic?
going to do is catch these guys out of here and try to get them to breed and put them in a room that doesn't have as much action, so maybe they'll chill out. And once we get it figured out, we might go and get a few more of them and try to breed them.
What type of top to that tank is it?
I'm sorry?
Does that tank have like a lid to it? That not necessarily a lid, but a top? Like
no, we got like glass lids on there right now.
Oh, okay.
But what they were doing is we had that covered the whole time. Well, initially it was. We lost 2 the first night, and then we decided, oh, we better put a lid on this. Then the little shits jumped out the holes. Because you know how acrylics have those big holes for tubes and whatnot? Yep. They went out those. We found 2 more the next day. So then we sealed everything. And yeah, they're going to have to come out of here. They're just way too spastic. They don't do well in this room where there's a lot of activity.
Now, what do you cover your back of your tank with?
That's paint.
Okay.
Danny painted them all this aquamarine blue, it's called.
Yeah,
ultramarine blue.
It is super pretty. I love it.
She does
what size tank is that?
That is 110 gallon acrylic.
That is awesome, man. Well, I've never had an Oscar, but I heard that they can jump.
They can. Most of the time I'm there when they do it because most of the time the only time I've had them jump out of the tanks when I'm getting ready to feed them, and they'll gluttonous little bastards try to jump out and get it out of your fingers before any other fish can even get to it. They jump it out, and then they, in the process, jump out of the tank. But I'm able to get them right away. But the problem is in this tank in the behind me over here. I mean, if they jump out of there, there's a chance they get far enough, they're going to have about a 30-foot drop by the time they hit ground. So,
Dang.
and I've lost fish in that tank due to that. I mean, even when I catch them right away, I mean, just the impact of solid concrete from that high up with it, and their head almost always weighs more than the rest of their body, so they always hit head first. Yeah, we lost a couple of beautiful fish due to that.
Well, Beischers, they're the fish that I have the most right now that jump. And I have to make sure that they've got nothing big enough for their body to get through or they'll go for it. Because, they've got the lungs. They think they can live outside the water. But they'll dry up and die. Is their problem.
Yeah, and then Danny and I also had a situation about a month or two ago. We had pothos in. I had a bunch of pothos in with my bristlenose grow out tank. So I had super reds and long fins, and I think we had some 333s in there too. But the plecos dummies ate up the pothos, went out on the pothos plant, and then fell out of the tank.
Oh.
So I looked and I thought, okay, so there was a couple dummies. I look and there's like 40 of them down there dead, dude. It's like they followed each other in single file or something. It was the most.
They were like lemons.
Yeah, lemons. So we had we put a lid on that tank now, and then no more floating plants whatsoever because they're just so stupid. Just jump out of. I mean, it was pretty. If you breed fish, it's very disheartening when you work to get them to sellable size and then they do something stupid like that.
Sure. You can just count the dollars all over the floor.
Oh, man. Mexicali's trying to really spin you now. He's saying, when did Ed become a Broncos fan? No red beard. He's got an orange beard.
It does need to be dyed.
It's remnants from Halloween, man.
I've been a little depressed over my Chiefs. I'm getting ready to dye it again some other color because I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl this year with these wide receivers.
Yeah, they're stupid. Xanadu. I mean, you try to do them right by putting pothos in there to help suck some of the nutrients out of the water, and the dummies use it to kill themselves. I was so mad. Now we have the pothos in the Borley tank over there.
I'd rather be a Raiders fan than a Broncos fan. At least there's a lot of Raiders that, players that I've respected over the years. I cheered for the Broncos in that one Super Bowl against the 49ers. And it was the first year I'd moved to St. Louis. And they had a big 49ers party. And I went there, or not but a Halloween Super Bowl party. And I was the only person that went as the AFC guy. Everybody else was a freaking 49ers fan. And I remember Elway crying at halftime. It's like, oh my God. I will never support this guy again. Not only does he beat
I
my
never
Chiefs,
respected him because he was supposed to be a Baltimore coach that year. And he pulled the same shit that
Eli?
Same shit that Eli pulled.
Yep.
I just feel if you're drafted, you need to go where you were drafted. It's none of this you whine and then you get your way,
Yep. okay, I know this will probably kill a Raiders fan, but I think the Raiders and the Chiefs have been very similar over the decades. You know, we've always played each other super tough because we're huge like rivals. But when it comes to the side of football, when all the owners are talking or and doing that stuff, we've always been the whipping boys. Both our teams have been the whipping boys. So
Well,
neither
before you
one's ever
guys,
been.
basically, you guys became real rivals when Seattle left your division. I mean, because it used to be Seattle and the Raiders were like the ultimate smack mouth.
Yeah, but
Those two
it was the
teams
Chiefs too.
hated each other.
The Seattle was in our division, but they always suck so bad.
Yeah,
You'd
but when
watch
the Raiders
Larkin.
and them played, they always
And
beat the hell out of each other. I mean, that was the one team that was a
we
rival.
picked up Dave Craig from the Seattle, and that guy had the smallest hands in the history of football, and he had like little bitty hands, and he'd fumble it all the time under the center. He would have been a good quarterback if it wasn't for his little baby hands. Do you remember Dave Craig?
Oh yeah.
Terrible. But oh well, what you gonna do?
I knew Ed wasn't right.
But yeah, I just the Chiefs and the Raiders always seem to be the most penalized teams in the league and everything. It's crazy.
Shoot, man. I'd love a team right now with Randall Cunningham, Moss, Carter, and Jefferson as are my receivers. Robert Smith and the AP is my running backs. Tight end, I'll tell you what, tight end, I'd probably go with Hodgkinson. He was probably one of our best tight ends ever.
Rudolph was pretty good when he was before stupid Cousins, I think.
Then on my D line, give me John Randall.
Say my
You know
boy.
who I'm going to say. You know who I'm going to
Say
say
my
for
boy.
defensive end? Jared Allen.
Okay, good. He got kicked off our team. That was the dumbest trade of all time.
He did us good too.
He had more sacks than the Chiefs for like 3 years in a row. Him by himself had more sacks than our whole team. Herman Edwards is the worst coach in the history of coaching.
It was all because him and
He's
the coach
done.
didn't get along too, wasn't it?
He had to have it his way, and he did so many boneheaded things. He's an awesome guy. Like he'd be a great next door neighbor, a really fun guy that way. But when it comes to running a team, all he did was lose.
You
Everything he
play the
did.
game to win.
But he didn't.
You play the game to win.
Such a bonehead. But yeah, he got rid of all of our good players. He chased off.
No, Mel. He's saying Tony Gonzalez. I don't know, man. I think I'd take Kelsey over Gonzalez.
He chased off Gonzalez. Edwards got rid of Gonzalez, too. I mean, he just made our team horrific. Just horrible. But oh well. Who would I take? I would take Kelsey, and it's always easier to pick the guy that's on your team now.
Kelsey is going to be an all. I mean, he's going to get a gold jacket before it's over. I mean,
he's already broken records. He's like the first tight end to ever get 10 years in a row with 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Not too many wide receivers can say that. So
And he
It
stayed
just,
relatively
I hope he
healthy.
doesn't retire because he's getting so aggravated this year.
Well, and he's kind of preoccupied. I mean, he's got a pretty nice girlfriend, so.
Well, and I mean, he's got a taste of Hollywood,
Yeah.
with the whole Saturday Night Live and stuff. Apparently they've been trying to court him to do some movies and stuff. So I don't know. I think he'll be like Gronk thought he was going to be doing movies too. And then he really didn't do any movies. Or Gronk hasn't done anything except
But
commercials.
Gronk ain't dating Taylor Swift either.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. But
I mean, he might turn into a music groupie for the rest of his life, and he don't have to worry about money because if he marries this chick, I mean, she's worth how many millions? He seems like a smart guy. I'm sure he's been putting his dough away too,
well, they think he might make close to 500 million this year with all of his commercials and t-shirt or his sales of his shirts
Yeah.
and stuff.
Taylor got him 40 million jersey sales. I mean, how much do you think that paid him?
Oh, I heard it was at 80 now.
80 million shirts. And he's getting at least $2 a shirt minimum.
I don't know what he's getting. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe she sold 40 million, he made 80 million.
That makes sense.
But
$80 million just off shirt sales.
And he's on every commercial.
Him and his brother both.
Yeah, and that's really good for a center. I mean, his brother is going to be the most well-known offensive lineman in the history of offensive linemen.
Well, he's done the legwork, though. Him and his brother do that show together on that podcast, and they're doing things what they
awesome.
need to do, man. They know how to do it.
Yeah, when they won that first Super Bowl, dressed up like a sheik, that was awesome. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Just amazing.
All right, Ed. Well, I got a honey-do list from hell I got to do, man. It's good to finally just be one-on-one with you for a change. We don't usually get to do this very often anymore.
Yeah. It's good to just hang out with you.
No kidding.
Can't wait till you're in Tennessee where we can just hang out all the time. And then
believe me, you're preaching to the choir. I'd already be there.
Whip's going to be here too in a couple of years. He's only going to be 40 minutes from my house.
I got to hang out with Whip this last trip. He's a cool dude to hang out with.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be like my sister's going to be 20 minutes from my house, and he's like another 20 from her.
No kidding. And you just got a serious good shrimp people just moved out there.
Oh, who's that?
They're not in Tennessee. They're in North Carolina. But I'm saying Shrimp Envy moved out there now.
Yeah, we got to go, or I got to go try to check them out sometime.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll probably initially they're going to be kind of like what LRB had to do. They're going to have to get reset up and stuff. But they were smart. They sent their best lines to friends that are already on the East Coast. They're going to hold them.
Well, say hi to Danny for me.
Did you hear?
Hi, Danny.
She can hear you.
Hi.
That's awesome. Did she have to push the food through the little holes?
No,
I had to move the glass off to the side and then put it in and then push it back over.
I was wondering if there was like a little air hole she was just pushing it through.
No, I just moved the lid.
Well, it's awesome that you have a good woman to feed your fish for you.
Only upstairs.
Well, if you guys could buy the house next door to me,
guess what it'll still be for you tomorrow when you get home from your night out with your. See, she conned me about a year ago. Moved all the tanks downstairs and then continues only to feed upstairs. So she's got like maybe 10 tanks to feed now. Where I got to feed like 60. And she's moved it to where she only does water changes on the tanks upstairs.
That's not true.
you guys move in
not
next
including
door
the ones
to
in the
me.
garage. She won't do the ones in the garage. So really, she does 8 water changes and feeds 8 tanks a night.
Well, tell her if she moves in next door to me, she doesn't have to do any of my water changes.
So Ed says if you come to Tennessee, move next door to him, he promises he'll never make you do any of his water changes.
She's welcome to feed my fish.
I don't think she heard me. She'll come back through.
We're looking into getting one of those little lifts, those little elevators.
Yeah, I'm probably going to need one of those myself.
Well, I was thinking we could put it in my mom and dad's sunroom and have it go down underneath to where I'm going to screen in the porch area underneath. Have it go through that so she could go to the pool easier, so she doesn't have to walk through down the stairs of the deck to get to the pool.
It probably wouldn't be that hard to do it there.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking it out. It looks like it would be under $5,000.
Really?
To do the whole thing.
It's
just a single person lift. It's not like something you'd put a fish tank on or something, but just enough for her to come in, get in there, hold the sides and go down and up. I think it'd be great for her.
No kidding. Melvin and Nandu said hello too.
If there was a tornado, they could get downstairs easy with her too. I mean, we don't have many tornadoes here, but if there ever was, it'd be pretty tough my mom would take a while to get down the stairs with her bad hip and knees.
Oh man.
So
I'd probably just pick her up and take her down.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm going to head on out, do my thing with the tanks real quick. It's good streaming with you, Ed, as always.
You bet, man. Thank you for letting me hang out with you.
Yep. We'll be back next Friday night, guys. Thanks for stopping out. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Later.
Bye.